The darkness feels endless, suffocating. A shadow looms in the distance, its form unclear but its presence unmistakable. You try to run, but your feet feel anchored to the ground, as if the very air conspires against you. Panic rises in your chest, tightening like a vice, and the shadow draws closer. Just before it reaches you, you wake, your heart pounding, your breath shallow. The nightmare lingers, wrapping itself around you like a fog. What was that? A random trick of the mind? Or was it something deeper, something purposeful, urging you to pay attention to the unseen within you? Nightmares are more than fleeting terrors that visit us in the night. They are sacred messengers, veiled in fear but carrying profound wisdom. They intrude upon our sleep not to torment us, but to guide us, to reveal truths hidden in the depths of our subconscious. During the day, we wear masks of control, strength, and composure. But in the vulnerable hours of sleep, nightmares strip us bare. They bring forward what we suppress, what we fear to confront, showing us not just the chaos within, but also the possibility for transformation hidden in that chaos. Have you ever paused to wonder why certain images or sensations repeat in your nightmares? Why the fear feels so visceral, so real? What if these dreams aren't just random firings of neurons, but a language, a bridge between your waking self and your soul? Nightmares don't merely haunt, they communicate. Their symbols and emotions are invitations to look deeper, to uncover the stories and wounds we've buried. They whisper truths we often don't want to hear but desperately need to understand. So the question isn't why nightmares happen, it's whether we are ready to listen to what they're telling us. This journey into the mystery of nightmares is not about escaping their grip. It's about meeting them with curiosity and courage. Together, we will explore how nightmares mirror the soul, how they act as spiritual wake-up calls, and how they hold the power to heal and transform. By the end of this journey, your perspective will shift. Nightmares may no longer be something to fear, but something to embrace. A guide leading you toward growth, healing, and awakening. The darkness within your dreams isn't here to destroy you. It's here to show you who you truly are. Nightmares are like cracked mirrors, but instead of reflecting the surface of who we are, they reveal the depths of our being. In their jagged shards, we see the fears we suppress, the traumas we deny, and the emotions we bury deep within ourselves. These aren't gentle reflections. They're raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic. Nightmares spill the secrets of our subconscious in shadows and chaos. They tear down the polished facade we show to the world, revealing what lies beneath. But rather than enemies, these reflections are gifts, tools for self-discovery wrapped in discomfort. In the daylight, we are masters of avoidance. We scroll, work, and distract ourselves, building walls to keep discomfort at bay. But these walls cannot hold forever. Nightmares arrive when the defenses fall, forcing us to confront the truths we avoid. That recurring dream of falling? Perhaps it's your fear of losing control, the shadowy figure chasing you. Maybe it's the guilt or grief you've tried to outrun. Nightmares demand our attention. They say, "Look here, this is important." Their chaos isn't meaningless, it's deliberate. Their intensity reflects the urgency of their message. Think about a recurring nightmare you've experienced. The feelings it evoked, the pounding heart, the sense of dread, didn't arise without reason. These dreams are signposts pointing to unresolved aspects of your life. Like letters you've left unopened, they carry messages waiting to be read. The fear they inspire isn't meant to paralyze. It's meant to draw you closer to the truth. They are reflections of your unhealed wounds, surfacing in the only way they can. To ignore them is to ignore the opportunity for healing and growth that they so powerfully offer. When we stop running from nightmares and start examining them, they transform. They become mirrors that reveal not just our pain, but also our potential for healing and self-awareness. They ask us to acknowledge our shadows, to understand them, and to integrate them into our whole selves. The journey isn't easy, but it's transformative. Nightmares aren't here to punish you, they're here to teach you. They remind us that self-awareness is born from courage, the courage to look deeply into the mirror, no matter how unsettling the reflection may seem. Nightmares are bridges, not the kind made of steel and stone, but ethereal pathways stretching between the conscious mind and the vast ocean of the subconscious. By day, we construct walls of logic, busy schedules, and surface-level distractions, keeping this ocean at bay. But at night, when the world quiets and our guard slips, the subconscious rises like a tide. Nightmares are its emissaries, carrying messages in the form of symbols and emotions too raw for the light of day. They are the keys that unlock doors to the hidden chambers of our psyche, revealing truths we can no longer ignore. In the noise of waking life, it's easy to silence the whispers of the subconscious. We scroll, work, talk, and distract ourselves from discomfort, building castles of routine to protect us from what lies beneath. Yet our inner world is vast and persistent, filled with forgotten memories, suppressed fears, and unacknowledged wounds. Nightmares break through this illusion of control, tearing down the barriers with their vivid intensity. They force us to stop, to see, and to feel. Like an insistent storm, they uncover what we've buried, laying bare the layers of our soul that we might otherwise neglect. Imagine the recurring nightmare of being chased, the pounding footsteps behind you, the inability to escape. It's terrifying. But what is pursuing you? Perhaps it's an unresolved trauma, a fear you've been running from, or a choice you're too afraid to make. The dream repeats again and again because the message remains unread. It's not cruelty, it's persistence. The subconscious is patient, but it is also firm. It will continue to bring your attention to what you avoid until you turn around and face it. Every recurring nightmare is a door left unopened, waiting for you to cross the threshold. There is a profound gift in these disruptions of our sleep. Nightmares, though unsettling, reveal the depth of our spiritual and emotional selves. They show us the wounds that need healing, the fears that demand acknowledgement, and the truths that will set us free. They are guides, urging us to explore the vastness of our inner worlds and to embrace the parts of ourselves we've left in the shadows. When we choose to walk across the subconscious gateway, nightmares transform from tormentors into teachers, offering clarity, healing, and a path toward wholeness. Imagine a world cloaked in silence where everything feels still, too still. Then suddenly a piercing sound shatters the calm, a blaring alarm impossible to ignore. Nightmares are that alarm clock jolting us awake not just from sleep, but from the comfortable numbness of neglect. They arrive uninvited, unrelenting, and entirely necessary. These dreams are not here to harm you. They are here to demand your attention. They are the soul's way of saying, you cannot ignore this any longer. In their chaos lies a message. Wake up to yourself. Nightmares carry an urgency that our waking lives often lack. They confront us with the aspects of our shadow self, the hidden parts of our psyche that we suppress, deny, or avoid. During the day, it's easy to bury insecurities, avoid past traumas, or ignore uncomfortable emotions. But at night, the shadow rises, unfiltered and raw. Nightmares force us to see what we've left in the dark corners of our soul. Like a mirror we can't look away from, they ask us, what part of yourself are you refusing to face? What have you been neglecting? Is it an unresolved fear, a relationship left broken, or an unspoken truth you've buried for years? Nightmares don't whisper. They shout. They illuminate the areas of your life where you are out of alignment with your true self. They make it impossible to pretend everything is fine when it's not. Have you ever wondered why some dreams haunt you so vividly? Why they linger long after you wake? These aren't just dreams. They're wake-up calls. The question isn't whether they mean something, it's whether you're willing to listen. To ignore nightmares is to hit snooze on the soul's alarm clock, delaying the growth and healing they offer. But when we face them, they transform from intruders into guides. They show us where we've been hiding and where we need to grow. What in your life feels unfinished, unresolved, or avoided? Nightmares point to these places not to punish you, but to free you. The call to awaken is not about perfection, it's about courage. The courage to open your eyes, step into the shadows, and see the truth they've been waiting to reveal. Are you ready to wake up? Deep within each of us lies the shadow self, a concept brought to life by Carl Jung, the hidden, repressed parts of our psyche that we deny, ignore, or fear. This shadow is not inherently bad. It simply holds the parts of us that we've deemed unacceptable, too painful, or too inconvenient to confront. Nightmares are the shadow's voice, speaking in the language of fear, vivid imagery, and intense emotions. They demand that we face what we've pushed into the darkness. To deny the shadow is to deny a part of ourselves. To face it is to begin healing. Nightmares offer a doorway to integrating the shadow self. When you dream of being chased, perhaps it's your shadow running after you, yearning for recognition. A dream of falling might be your shadow pulling you downward, asking you to let go of control and trust. These unsettling images are not meant to harm, but to awaken. They give you the chance to reclaim the pieces of yourself you've left behind. Shadow integration is not about erasing fear. It's about sitting with it, understanding it, and allowing it to become a source of wisdom and strength. Take, for example, someone plagued by nightmares of drowning. In waking life, they may avoid deep emotions, fearing vulnerability. But the nightmare reveals this avoidance, showing them the waters they refuse to swim in. By reflecting on the dream, journaling, and exploring these fears, they begin shadow work, embracing the vulnerability they once resisted. The nightmare, once terrifying, transforms into a catalyst for growth. This is the power of facing the shadow. It allows us to retrieve what was lost and to heal the wounds we once avoided. Dreams become the arena for this profound inner transformation. The shadow is not your enemy. It is the part of you that yearns for acknowledgement and integration. When we avoid the shadow, it grows stronger, manifesting in ways we can't control. Fear, shame, anxiety. But when we embrace it, we unlock a deeper wholeness. Nightmares invite us to step into this work, guiding us to explore the unsettling truths we need to heal. The next time your shadow speaks through a nightmare, don't run. Turn toward it, ask what it wants to show you, and listen. In the discomfort of this confrontation lies your greatest potential for transformation. Nightmares are storytellers, weaving their tales not in words but in symbols. These symbols speak a universal language, understood by the subconscious but often mystifying to the conscious mind. A figure in the shadows, a crumbling bridge, or the sensation of falling, all carry profound meaning. Nightmares are not random chaos. They are intentional, archetypal expressions of the fears, desires, and lessons within us. Like ancient hieroglyphs etched into the walls of our dreams, these symbols invite us to decipher their messages and uncover the truths they hold. Take the sensation of falling, a nightmare that leaves you breathless. It may reflect a fear of losing control or feeling untethered in waking life. But it also carries a deeper lesson: surrender. To fall is to let go, to trust the unknown, to release the grip of control we so fiercely hold on to. Being chased is another common theme, often representing avoidance. What are you running from? A fear? A truth? The moment you stop running in your dream and in life is the moment you reclaim your power. Paralysis, too, is symbolic, calling us to confront where we feel stuck. These archetypal nightmares transcend personal experience. They are part of the collective unconscious. They carry universal lessons. Falling asks us to trust, Chasing challenges us to confront. Paralysis demands us to act. Through their symbols, nightmares become more than individual fears. They become guides to shared human experiences and spiritual growth. When we engage with these symbols, we step into a larger narrative, one where fear transforms into wisdom and struggle into strength. Nightmares, in this sense, are less personal demons and more universal teachers. The next time a nightmare shakes you awake, pause and reflect. What did the symbols mean? What were they trying to tell you? Keep a journal by your bed and record every detail you can remember. Then ask yourself, what is this symbol reflecting about my life right now? Nightmares speak in a language of metaphor and archetype, and when we learn to interpret their symbols, we unlock profound insights about ourselves. In this way, nightmares are not curses, but conversations, ones that offer us the wisdom we need to navigate the journey of life. Fear is a shadow that looms large in nightmares, a force that grips us in its darkness. But fear, like shadows, only has power when misunderstood. Nightmares remind us that fear is not here to oppress, but to liberate. Imagine fear as a locked door, a door you dread approaching. Yet, in your hand, you already hold the key. The nightmare urges you to step forward, trembling but determined, and unlock what lies beyond. On the other side of fear is freedom, but only if you dare to walk through it. Nightmares are tests of courage, pulling you into scenarios that challenge your deepest insecurities. The monster chasing you in your dream is not there to destroy you, it's there to push you to turn around, to face it, and to realize you're stronger than you think. The moment you stop running, the nightmare changes. Fear transforms into empowerment, and the once terrifying figure loses its grip on you. Nightmares teach us that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move through it, trusting that on the other side lies strength and wisdom. Think about the way fear feels in a nightmare: paralyzing, overwhelming, inescapable. And yet, when you wake, the fear dissolves, leaving only the echo of its lesson. This is the illusion of fear. It feels insurmountable until it is faced. Nightmares show us that fear, while uncomfortable, is a teacher. It guides us to the places within ourselves where we've given up power, and it dares us to reclaim it. Each nightmare is an invitation to trust yourself more deeply, to lean into discomfort, and emerge stronger than you were before. When you confront fear in a nightmare, you're not just navigating a dream, you're reshaping your waking life. The courage you summon in those dark moments becomes the foundation for resilience in the daylight. What if fear wasn't a wall but a doorway? What if every nightmare, every racing heart and shaking hand, was a chance to uncover hidden strength? Moving through fear doesn't just dissolve it, it transforms you. Nightmares remind us that liberation isn't found by avoiding fear, but by stepping boldly into it. What will you find on the other side? Fear has a way of pointing us toward the very things we need to face to grow. It acts like a compass, steering us toward the edges of our comfort zones, where transformation begins. In nightmares, fear is not an obstacle, it's a signpost, marking the path that leads to healing and self-discovery. When a nightmare shakes you awake, drenched in fear, it's not a punishment. It's a guide saying, "Here is where your work lies." Fear doesn't block the way, it shows the way. History and spirituality are filled with stories of breakthroughs born from fear. The Buddha faced the terrifying temptations of Mara under the Bodhi tree before awakening. Joan of Arc heard divine voices, facing fear and doubt as she pursued her mission. Fear is often the threshold between who we are and who we are becoming. These moments of terror test us, asking, "Will you step forward?" The same principle applies to nightmares. When fear grips us, It's because something powerful and transformative lies on the other side. Discomfort is the soil where transformation takes root. Fear feels overwhelming, but it's necessary for growth. Think of a butterfly struggling to emerge from its cocoon. The discomfort of that process is what gives it the strength to fly. Nightmares plunge us into discomfort, creating a space where we are forced to confront ourselves. In facing the fear of the dream, we also prepare to face the fears of life. Nightmares remind us that transformation isn't meant to be easy, it's meant to change us. So what does it mean to lean into fear? It means recognizing that fear, whether in a nightmare or in waking life, is not your enemy. It's a teacher. When you feel its grip, pause and ask, what is this fear asking of me? Where does it want me to go? By stepping into fear instead of avoiding it, you unlock new levels of courage, resilience, and understanding. Both in your dreams and in life, fear is a spiritual guide, inviting you to step into your fullest self. Will you accept its invitation? Nightmares, for all their terror, may be more than reflections of our subconscious. Many esoteric traditions view dreams, especially vivid or recurring nightmares, as doorways to other realms. These realms, unbound by time or physical form, are spaces where the soul communicates, where the veil between the material and the spiritual thins. Could your nightmare be more than a personal fear? Could it be a portal to wisdom from beyond? When you wake with a start, heart racing, consider, what if this wasn't just a dream but a message from a world unseen? In the stillness of sleep, many believe that spirit guides, ancestors, or higher forces can reach out to us through dreams. Nightmares, with their striking intensity, may carry warnings, guidance, or lessons we're not ready to receive in waking life. In some cultures, a recurring nightmare might be seen as an ancestor's way of calling attention to a forgotten duty or a spiritual imbalance. These forces use the dream state to speak in symbols and emotions, trusting that in the silence of sleep, we will be more open to their messages. There are countless stories of dreams offering profound guidance. Imagine a woman repeatedly dreaming of crossing a raging river, feeling terrified, yet compelled to move forward. One day she recognizes the dream's message. It's time to leave behind a toxic relationship and embrace the unknown. By trusting the dream's symbolism, she transforms her life. Nightmares often carry this kind of wisdom, their sharp imagery acting as a spotlight on what we most need to address. When we view these dreams as communication from beyond, they take on a depth and significance that transcends fear. What if the nightmare that wakes you trembling is more than your mind processing daily stress? What if it's a spiritual nudge, a whisper from a guide, or the voice of an ancestor urging you to pay attention? Have you ever felt a nightmare carry a weight that lingered long after waking? Perhaps it wasn't just a dream, but a connection to something greater. The next time a nightmare shakes you awake, pause and ask, who or what is trying to speak to me? What am I being called to understand? The answers may surprise you. Dreams are thresholds, places where the boundaries of reality dissolve and the material world meets the spiritual. Nightmares in particular seem to amplify this connection, pulling us into vivid, surreal landscapes that defy logic but feel undeniably real. In these moments, the veil between worlds thins, allowing the soul to speak in its mysterious language. Could it be that your nightmare, as unsettling as it feels, is a sacred message? What if the fear you experienced wasn't a warning, but an invitation to explore the vastness of your inner and outer realities? Some say vivid nightmares are markers of spiritual awakening. They arrive not to torment, but to break us free from illusions that tether us to the mundane. The intensity of these dreams often signals transformation, an indication that something deep within you is stirring. Think of them as spiritual nudges, urging you to expand your awareness and step into a greater truth. You might wake with your heart racing, unsure of what it all means, but know this: Even the most fearsome nightmares hold the seeds of growth if you're willing to look deeper. For centuries, cultures have honored dreams as sacred tools for connection. Shamans traversed the dream world to gather wisdom and healing, while ancient Egyptians viewed nightmares as divine messages. In these traditions, nightmares are seen not as accidents, but as purposeful encounters with the unseen. Perhaps your own nightmare carries this same sacredness, a challenge or insight meant to guide you. When you honor the dream realm as a mystical space, you open yourself to the profound lessons it offers. Every image, every emotion, every shadow in the dream becomes a teacher. The dream world is a sacred landscape, and your nightmares are its boldest guides. They show you the places where you are ready to grow, the truths you are prepared to face. There is nothing random or meaningless about them. The next time a nightmare jolts you awake, don't rush to forget it. Instead, ask yourself, what message is waiting for me here? What does this dream want me to see? Remember, even the most vivid fears carry the potential for transformation. In the sacred space of dreams, fear is not the end, it's the beginning. Nightmares are the storms of the subconscious, sweeping through the hidden corners of our minds and uncovering what we've tried to bury. Like a storm, they may feel overwhelming, chaotic winds of fear and sorrow, but they serve a purpose. These dreams bring suppressed emotions to the surface, allowing them to be seen, felt, and released. Just as a storm clears the air, nightmares cleanse the emotional landscape, making space for healing. The intensity you feel in a nightmare is not there to punish you. It's there to help you let go of what no longer serves you. Imagine a recurring nightmare, a dream of drowning, the water rising as panic grips you. At first it seems cruel, like an endless loop of suffering. But then you begin to ask, why do I keep dreaming this? In waking life, you realize you've been avoiding difficult emotions, perhaps grief or fear of vulnerability. The dream is not trying to harm you. It's mirroring what needs your attention. By sitting with the dream and exploring its meaning, you begin to understand its purpose. This realization is the first step toward healing. The nightmare becomes a guide, not a tormentor. One woman shared how a recurring nightmare of being trapped in a burning house transformed her life. For years, the dream haunted her, filling her with terror. One day, she decided to face it. She realized the fire symbolized her anger she had ignored for too long. By journaling, reflecting, and seeking help, she confronted the emotions she had buried. The nightmare stopped, and in its place came peace. This is the power of nightmares. They surface what's hidden, creating space for emotional release and profound growth. They don't destroy us. They teach us how to rebuild. The next time a nightmare jolts you awake, try to see it as an ally in disguise. What is it asking you to release? What emotions have you been avoiding? Nightmares are not punishments. They are invitations to heal. By working with them, rather than fearing them, you allow the storm to cleanse your inner world. Keep a journal by your bed. Write down your dreams, even the frightening ones. With time, you'll begin to see the patterns and messages they carry. Remember, the storm of a nightmare always clears, leaving behind a brighter and more peaceful horizon. Confronting nightmares is an act of reclaiming your personal power. In the depths of fear, when shadows loom and chaos swirls, it's easy to feel small and powerless. But the truth is, every nightmare offers you a chance to rise. When you turn to face the dream instead of fleeing from it, you take the first step in transforming fear into strength. Nightmares are not here to break you. They're here to remind you of the power you already possess. Facing them is not just an act of courage, it's a declaration. I am in control of my own story. Think of nightmares as wild beasts roaming the uncharted forests of your mind. They seem untamable, fierce, and overwhelming. But what if you approached them not with fear, but with curiosity. Like a skilled trainer, you can learn to calm the beast, to understand its purpose, and even to transform its energy into an ally. Nightmares, when tamed, reveal the deeper truths they hold. In the process, they teach you resilience and self-mastery. The wild beast becomes a companion, not an enemy, showing you how to navigate the wilderness of your subconscious. Embracing the unknown is one of life's greatest challenges, but it's also where true resilience is forged. Nightmares push you into the unfamiliar, where the rules of the waking world no longer apply. They strip away certainty, leaving you to confront the raw essence of your fears. Yet by leaning into this discomfort, you grow stronger. Each nightmare you face prepares you for the challenges of waking life. You begin to see fear not as a roadblock, but as a doorway to deeper courage. Nightmares teach you that resilience isn't born in ease, it's forged in the unknown. Understanding fear transforms it. The moment you stop running from a nightmare and start asking, "What are you trying to show me?" is the moment fear begins to lose its grip. Nightmares hold no true power over you. Their intensity is a reflection of the strength within you, waiting to be unlocked. When you choose to engage with them, you reclaim the parts of yourself that fear had obscured. In this act of reclamation, you find empowerment. You discover that even in the darkest dream, you have always held the light. Embracing nightmares begins with a shift in perspective. They are not your enemies, but your teachers. To truly understand their messages, you need tools to bridge the gap between fear and insight. Journaling is one of the most powerful ways to start. Keep a notebook by your bed, and the moment you wake from a nightmare, write down every detail you can recall. Don't worry about making sense of it yet. Just capture the emotions, symbols, and sensations. This act alone transforms the nightmare from something chaotic into something tangible, a puzzle waiting to be solved. Meditation is another invaluable tool. Before bed, take a few moments to ground yourself, setting an intention to receive clarity from your dreams. If a nightmare wakes you, don't resist the fear. Instead, sit with it in stillness. Close your eyes and replay the dream in your mind, observing its details without judgment. What symbols stood out? Was there a recurring theme? Dream analysis involves breaking these symbols down, asking questions like, what does this represent in my waking life? What feelings did this evoke? Often the answers reveal truths you may not have consciously recognized. Reflective questions are vital for deepening your understanding of nightmares. After journaling, ask yourself, what might this dream be trying to teach me? Is there something I've been avoiding that this nightmare is pointing toward? Treat your nightmares as conversations with your subconscious. Even frightening imagery carries meaning, and by engaging with it, you begin to unravel the wisdom within. If certain symbols recur, a specific place, an emotion, or a figure, it's worth exploring their significance more deeply. Over time, patterns emerge, offering clarity and guidance for your waking life. Finally, set intentions for dream work before sleeping. As you lie in bed, take a moment to invite clarity and growth into your dreams. You might say to yourself, tonight, I am open to receiving the messages my soul wants to share. This practice shifts your relationship with nightmares, transforming them from unwelcome disruptions into opportunities for growth. By approaching your dreams with curiosity and trust, you create a space for healing and transformation. Remember, every nightmare carries a message, and with these tools, you're equipped to listen. What if your nightmares weren't something to fear, but something to welcome? This may feel like an impossible shift, but nightmares, when reframed, reveal themselves as allies in disguise. They are not here to harm you, but to guide you. Each nightmare is like a trusted friend who delivers hard truths, nudging you toward growth and self-awareness. By changing how you see them, you transform fear into curiosity. You begin to understand that these vivid, unsettling dreams are not foes. They are messengers, urging you to confront what is most essential for your healing. Consider the story of a man haunted by nightmares of standing on stage, unable to speak, as the audience jeers. In waking life, he realized this mirrored his fear of self-expression. By engaging with the dream, journaling and seeking its deeper meaning, he uncovered a suppressed desire to share his voice. With time and effort, he faced his fear, and the nightmare stopped. This transformation is the power of seeing nightmares as allies. They illuminate the shadows in your life, showing you what you're ready to face. When you work with them, they become powerful tools for personal evolution. The empowerment of transforming fear into wisdom cannot be overstated. Each time you face a nightmare and explore its meaning, you reclaim a part of your strength. Fear, once paralyzing, becomes a teacher, offering lessons in resilience and courage. Nightmares remind us that even in the darkness, there is clarity to be found. The emotions they evoke, fear, panic, unease, are invitations to engage, to ask, "What are you teaching me?" Through this engagement, you turn your nightmares into trusted guides, helping you navigate both your inner and outer worlds with newfound confidence. Nightmares are not your enemies. They are messengers carrying wisdom from the deepest parts of your being. They don't come to torment you, but to awaken you. The next time a nightmare jolts you awake, try thanking it. Yes, thanking it. Say, "What are you here to teach me? What truth are you showing me that I need to see?" This act alone shifts your relationship with fear. When you approach nightmares as allies, you unlock their potential to guide, heal, and transform. In doing so, you turn fear into wisdom and darkness into light. Dreams, even the darkest ones, are pathways to light. They guide us into the depths of our subconscious, showing us truths we might otherwise overlook. Nightmares, though unsettling, are part of this sacred journey. They illuminate the parts of ourselves we've hidden, the fears we must confront, and the wounds we're ready to heal. The darkness in dreams is not something to fear. It's a teacher, a mirror, a guide. In every shadow there is a spark of light waiting to be discovered, leading you closer to your true self. Through this journey, we've uncovered the profound purpose of nightmares. They reflect our suppressed emotions, act as spiritual wake-up calls, and offer us the chance to reclaim our power. Nightmares are sacred messengers, speaking in symbols and urging us toward growth. They invite us to engage with the unknown, to embrace our fears, and to transform them into wisdom. By working with them, we gain self-awareness, spiritual awakening, and emotional healing. The journey may not always be easy, but it is deeply rewarding, an exploration of the vast and mysterious terrain of the soul. Now, I encourage you to approach your dreams with curiosity, even the ones that leave you breathless. Keep a journal by your bed and write them down, no matter how fragmented or unsettling they may feel. Meditate on their meaning, reflect on the symbols, and ask yourself, what is this dream trying to teach me? By welcoming your dreams instead of running from them, you open yourself to the transformative power they hold. Every dream, every nightmare is an invitation to grow. Will you accept that invitation? As you drift off to sleep tonight, carry this thought with you. What will my next dream teach me? Approach the dream world with reverence, knowing that even the most unsettling dreams hold wisdom. Remember, the darkness in your dreams is never the end. It's a doorway to light, a path toward healing, and a mirror reflecting your limitless potential. Trust the journey, and let your dreams guide you toward the truth waiting within.